Hello, beautiful people. We are back again in my favorite lunch spot. The sun is out. It's beautiful. Cheers with my limoncello LaCroix, however you say it. Today's video is a very, very important video. Not that any of my other videos are less important, okay, but this is the lesson. If you take nothing else away from my channel, excuse me, I just had lunch, I'm so sorry. This is the lesson, that if you take nothing else away from what I teach you, let it be this. The attitude you have to get anything that you want, the attitude that you must embody to be the person that you are becoming, is as if somebody walked up to you and said, prove it. So if you are attempting to embody confidence and somebody came up to you and was like, prove it, what would you do? Who would you be? How would you act? How would you behave from there? What would you say? How would you carry yourself? How would you communicate with that person to prove to them that you are confident? And now, obviously, like, we're not going to have people showing up in our life being like, prove it, with every single one of our manifestations, but that's the type of perspective you have to have towards yourself. So a lot of times when we are manifesting a new identity, our subconscious is going to reject it immediately. It's going to be like, no, you're not, especially if you're trying to make a change that is so drastically different from your current reality. For example, when I was overweight and I was attempting to lose weight, it was really difficult for me to be able to look in the mirror and go, oh, you're so healthy and you look so pretty today. And, you know, like, it was hard for me to be like, I love my body, when, like, I very much did not. And that's not to say that you can't learn to love your body at any size, any shape, wherever you are in your health journey. But for me, that felt like lying. And so I didn't force it. I only ever waited until there was a day where I did feel good and it was authentic. And little by little, there were more and more days, because I didn't just wait around and do nothing. I got the idea in my head that I was going to lose weight, that I was going to be healthy, that I was going to make better decisions. And the way that I went about taking action from there was prove it. If you're a healthy person, prove it. How do you talk to yourself? How does a healthy person talk to themselves? How does a healthy person eat? Now, that doesn't mean that I cut out all kinds of sugar and processed foods right away, or that, like, overnight I tried to hop on a fad diet, because every time I had done that in the past, it did not work for me. I failed every time because it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't real and it wasn't coming from the right place. Whereas instead, when I actually was able to make the commitment to stick to something, the change that I made was just allowing myself to be where I was at, and every day doing my best to prove it to myself that I was becoming more healthy, that I was prioritizing fueling my body and eating in a regular pattern and listening to my body's cues and doing what was best for me. And so the same goes for relationships or business or work or school or friendships. Like, if somebody were to walk up to you and you are trying to convince yourself that you're a kind person, and they said, prove it, what would be your list of things that you would show to them to prove that you are a kind person? You know, when was the last time you went out of your way to do something for someone purely out of the kindness of your heart, purely out of this feeling of like, I really want to help somebody, I want to offer my services to somebody, I want to give somebody my time and my energy, I want to lend a hand. And the more evidence, the more you can prove it, whether that is from a tangible level or at least from an internal level, the more likely your subconscious is to shift. Because otherwise it feels like lying to yourself, and that does the opposite, where it creates distrust. And what I notice, some people call it like spiritual gaslighting in manifestation, where it's basically like you're just straight lying to yourself. Like, You're basically like robotically affirming and trying to force this new identity down your throat instead of actually proving it. And it's not hard. And I don't mean that you have to take this massive action or you have to scramble to find a bunch of things to do to prove it to yourself. What it is like you wake up every day with the intention to be a certain way, and your one goal of the day is to find an example that proves that. So again, back to like the feeling of confidence. Confidence is something that's not really tangible, but it's palpable. And what I mean by that is like you can't hold it in your hand, but you can sense it. You can sense when someone is confident. You can sense when someone walks in the room and they're carrying themselves in a certain way, or the way that they're dressed, or the way that they talk. Like the energy that they bring about is what proves it. And so if you're trying to manifest something that right now is intangible, right? Especially like a lot of women on my channel are manifesting SP. A lot of them are in no contact, or the contact they're getting is really poor. Who do you want to be as a partner? And who would you be as a partner if you did have them already? If you knew that you had security in that relationship, if you had security within yourself in order to be secure in that relationship, who would you be? How would you embody the traits of that version of yourself? And then prove it. So, for example, like I am married. And if my husband and I are having off days, sometimes we're both tired, things happen, like it's life. We don't ever have this like really getting angry at each other. Everything is like very peaceful and we communicate as best as we can. But there are times where we're just kind of off. We're just not on the same page that day. Either I'm sick or he's just had a really long day. And so maybe things don't go the way I hope in my head that they go. But because I'm secure within myself and because I'm secure within that relationship, within that partnership, I'm not afraid that, oh, we had one bad day, everything's like the sky is falling, everything is terrible, what am I gonna do now? I don't go into that anxiety. I don't go into that panic. Now I definitely used to, but I don't do that anymore because I've learned to regulate myself. I've learned to go, oh, okay, I'm feeling this emotion because this happened, and all that's proving to me is that I care about how I feel. All that's proving to me in this moment is that I love myself. And I'm not going to then weaponize that against him because he has not given me an effort or taken an action that I want him to. That's not his fault. That's not his problem. Either he didn't know or he couldn't show up for me at that time. And so I have to show up for myself. I get to show up for myself. I get to embody that feeling of like, I'm cool. You're having an off day, I'm having an off day. Let's just chalk it up to that. We get a new day tomorrow, inshallah. Everything will be fine. We'll be good, And I look at the day and night difference between when I was not embodying the state of being the woman who is secure in partnerships, when I was being that anxious person, when my attachment style was constantly triggered and I had no idea how to regulate my nervous system. Yeah, I was reactionary. I absolutely would take it as, oh my gosh, he must be angry at me for some reason. I must have done something wrong. What can I do to fix it? How can I, you know what I mean? Like the people pleaser in me just came out and was like, I gotta do something. I gotta fix this. I don't have that anymore. But I didn't get here overnight. I got here by saying, okay, if you're a securely attached woman, if you're a healthy partner, prove it. He said something that rubbed you the wrong way. How are you going to react? You guys didn't get to go do the plans that you had that weekend. How are you going to react? Something stressful happens and, it's putting pressure and strain on your relationship. How are you going to react to that? Are you going to be calm in the moment, or are you going to freak out and make it a bigger deal than it is? Are you going to catastrophize? Are you going to be super anxious? Are you going to pick more fights? Because a lot of times when you are in that stress cycle, when you are constantly in the state of dysregulation, when things start to feel calm, you panic and therefore have to subconsciously generate drama, stress, pressure, more reasons to be anxious because you believe you're hardwired to understand that things are just going to be this way. One thing they call it is like the other shoe syndrome, which is basically like when something good happens, you feel this like pressure of like, okay, the other shoe's about to drop. Something bad's around the corner. If things have been going good, something bad must be about to happen, because things can't be this good for this long. That's suspicious. We don't trust that. And really it wasn't about the time that it took me. It was about how consistent could I be? How long could I hold the new version of myself? How long could I embody that identity before falling off the horse? And when I did fall off the horse, I was like, man, this sucks. Like I would be a little bit hard on myself, but not overly perfectionistic about it. Ooh, a butterfly just landed over there. That was so awesome. I wouldn't be overly perfectionistic. I wouldn't pressure myself any more than I needed to get back in line with where I wanted to go. And that's the other thing that a lot of people tend to do, is when they start to realize they can't prove it, they shame themselves, they spiral, they feel guilty, they feel terrible, they feel like giving up, and oftentimes they do give up. I mean, if you're in a state where you've been trying, the logical thing to do is to give up. But manifestation isn't about logic. It's not about being logical in any way, shape, or form. It's actually the opposite. It's about having this pure faith, this belief, this unwavering knowledge that you can have it, no matter what the circumstances look like. And the circumstances are going to look like some messed up stuff sometimes. They are going to be absolutely the opposite of what you want. They're going to show you everything that you don't want, because you're growing conscious of what you're afraid of. You're developing an awareness of what you don't want. And that's a good thing, because it's the contrast, it's the black and white, it's the day and night, it's the yes and no that allows us to form our desires and know, okay, this has not been working for me. I do not want this anymore. That's where I'm going. And I'm going to stick with that decision. And so just take it as a little challenge. In the next 7 days, observe your behaviors, observe your thoughts, compare that to your desires, and at least come up with one example a day where you were able to say, I proved today that I am this desire. I proved today that I am this confident person. I proved today that I am a healthy person. I proved today that I am committed to my manifestation. I proved today that I am worthy of love and joy and bliss and goodness. I proved today that I can overcome my fears. I proved today that I am good at making money. I proved today that I don't have to try so hard for my desires. I proved that I am worthy on my own without having to be a people pleaser. I proved to myself that I am this version of me. Once a day, just one little bit of evidence every day for the next 7 days. Just look for it. And I promise you, once you start to see, oh, I actually can prove it, just do more of that. When I very first started losing weight, I did keto for 2 weeks. It gave me a lot of symptoms I didn't like, but what I took from it is I don't drink soda anymore. I drink these. And if I do have a soda, it's like twice a year, 3 times a year. And at least 2 of the 3 times a year I have soda, it'll be diet or sugar-free type of soda, like a stevia sweetened soda or something like that. And so even when I wasn't able to, sorry about the shaking, it's a little windy here. Even when I wasn't able to consistently eat healthy, okay, even if every single meal I ate was not the healthiest meal, even if I had the chocolate cake and the french fries and I didn't exercise that day, even if I skipped the gym 3 days in a row, even if I saw the scale go up, if I could prove it to myself that I was making at least one healthy choice a day, maybe that day I took my vitamins, maybe that day I drank water, maybe that day, I parked further and walked to the supermarket, or I took the stairs instead of the elevator. Like literally one tiny little behavior can prove to you that you are on the right track. And that's all it takes, because then those behaviors pile up. And so what I was saying about the soda is, even if I couldn't consistently every single day do all the goals and habits I wanted to do. If I had 1 out of the 10, I was on track. And then it got so easy to pick like sparkling water over soda that became natural to me. That was my new normal. It's my new normal now. If I reach for something fizzy, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be this right here. This is my favorite. I love this. If not, it's any type of like sparkling tea, or I did used to drink kombucha. I stopped that recently. But yeah, basically, like, I would choose only healthy things to drink. And then from there, I cut out certain snacks. I stopped eating at certain restaurants. And once I started new habits and stopped poor habits, it got so easy and natural that I built off of it. So it was 1 out of the 10 goals I had for the day for my health. Then it was 2 out of 10. Then it was 3 out of 10. And now most days I'm hitting my daily health goals. I'm taking my vitamins. I'm making sure I get enough water. I'm making sure I get enough sleep and good quality sleep. I'm stretching. I'm going for walks. Usually on my lunches, I take a walk. Sometimes if it's really nice like this, I'll take a walk after I get off of work, so I can walk a little bit longer. Obviously, like, cutting down on the sugary beverages. This has absolutely no sweetener in it, and so that's a healthy choice for me. Things like cutting out certain processed foods, or if I do eat some type of processed food like a granola bar, I'm gonna pick the healthiest granola bar and not the one with the most sugar and that has the most extra ingredients and preservatives, right? It's these small sustainable changes where you can look at yourself and go, I proved it to myself today. I proved it to myself that I am on track with my manifestation. I proved it to myself that I am persisting. I proved it to myself that I can be consistent in small ways and big ways. And these are all like affirmations that you can use too. Like, I prove to myself every day that I am a healthy person. I prove to myself every day that I am a good woman. I prove to myself every day that I am a confident woman. I prove to myself every day that I'm good at making money. I prove to myself every day that I am a kind and generous person. Like, whatever it is you're manifesting, it's the proof. Find the proof, create the proof, and like figure out how to create more proof. And little by little, your subconscious will change and it will happen quicker than you even realize. I know that this video was helpful. Please go back and watch it again. Take notes. Study this. Once you saturate your brain with it, you really begin to embody the changes. And, I am here to give you all the advice in the world to get you to have what you want. I want you to have what you want as much as you want to have what you want. I promise you that I would not be taking my time out of my day to do this for free, mind you. This is free content. All of my YouTube videos are free. I'm offering this advice to you from a genuine place of I want to help you. I'm here to help you. So take the help, take the guidance, resonate with it, let it sink in, and you will have what you desire. I know you will. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.